All right, welcome back. I'm going to do a little example chart this time of a Prashna, which is a question. And this time I had to ask myself this question. And so the pretext of this is that I was going to ship a mail order to someone, and this place for a business that I worked at before I was so fortunate enough to be able to be a full-time astrologer. Anyway, so I'm going to the post office, and I drive there, and it was kind of a super hectic time for me. And right when I get to the post office, you're standing in line the whole time. And then you get there, and you don't even have your wallet to pay for the thing. So that was like, ah. And so I was like, all right, go back home. Could have sworn I brought my wallet, but I must have left it because I went out in my car to check first, and it was not in my car. I checked everywhere, and I only put my wallet in one place ever, so it wasn't there. And I checked any other odd places, and I was like, all right, this is weird. This really sucks. Now I got to go all the way back home to get my wallet. So I drive in traffic, and I get back home, and it's still not at home. And it's like, man, this is stressful. And I think someone was over here at the time, or they stopped by, and I was like, look, I can't really talk right now. I'm kind of stressed, is chaotic. I'm trying to find my wallet, I can't find it, and that just makes you feel really stressed out and stuff when you have so many responsibilities in that wallet. And so then I realized, like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to do a chart. I'm gonna have to look at the astrology of this because I'm really lost. And so I casted a chart, and that's what this chart is. Um, So I just drew it out because I thought that might be maybe a little simpler for me. I'm not a technology expert. So you'll notice that the rising sign is Leo and Jupiter is on the ascendant. So right away that tells me that I will have a good experience overall. Like that, when you have a benefic on the Lagna, that merits a good prajna experience for the person, and it shows that they're really sincere in their intentions. And likewise, if you have malefics or cruel planets on the ascendant of a prajna, the person may not be sincere in what they're asking about. They may also not be ready to really know the answer. Or there may just be something about it where you're not meant to read it for them at that time. And it's very important to know when that is happening and to just say no rather than do a bad job. Um, so right away I knew, okay, I can proceed. And it looks like I'll probably find the item. Well, actually, I haven't explained why that is yet. So anyways, the benefic Jupiter in the Lagna, that helped me. And that said, okay, there's a good chance I can find this using astrology, which Jupiter rules astrology, or relates to astrology. Before I go further, though, actually, yeah, it's kind of interesting with the benefic or malefics on the ascendant. I've had a few people harass me at times over my course of my doing Vedic astrology for various reasons. Some people just don't like seeing a young white male doing Hindu astrology because some people believe that only Indians should be doing it. But then Indians believe in reincarnation, which dictates that you can't keep reincarnating in the same culture over and over. So I don't know how they really deal with that, not being able to admit that maybe, Ramakrishna is reincarnated as an American now, or not him because he got liberated, but a great Indian figure might be reincarnated as an American right now, and then they might be bashing that American all day, for all we know. So it's kind of a weird contradiction that I never understood, but there are a lot of reasons. And then also the whole zodiac debate. Everyone gets very fired up about their their method of what's right and what their guru says. So I've been harassed a number of times because of saying things that didn't agree with another Indian spiritual teacher or astrologer that they themselves didn't bother harassing me about it because they probably were more wise than that. But their students go along and say, you got to do it all my way or my teacher's way. And that's just a part of it. Astrology is a very 8th house heavy profession, so there is a lot of drama and instability that you have to deal with if you're going to be an astrologer, or you need to be able to not be affected by that. Also, you shouldn't be reading things if you're so sensitive that you get affected by what people say. You shouldn't be a reader. Yeah, so I had someone harass me when I was first starting to do professional astrology, and I used these techniques and found that each time they were emailing me, the cruel planets and even particularly Rahu would be on the ascendant, saying that this person's just trying to test you or trying to trick you or just trying to harass you, or this person is not sincere, so don't bother with them. Um, so that did help me. That technique has helped me a number of times in that regard. Now moving on to the rest of the progeny. Okay, so you got Jupiter, benefic on the ascendant, good. But the ascendant Lord, Sun, goes to the 8th house. Right away, that's bad. That's the house of like death. That means the wallet's dead or gone. I mean, it was a leather skin wallet, so it was a dead hide. But no, that means it's gone. Or it usually means it's gone. So that wasn't really good. But then right after that, I noticed one of the main things of this progeny, one of the main things to take away is that the sun is at 14 degrees, 55 minutes. And then, I'm doing it backwards, yeah. The moon is at 1553. So they were in almost exactly on the same degree and exact minute. So they were opposite. You notice it was a full moon day. And so that means that the moon was super bright, and the moon was in what we call a Purna Ittasala, which means like the moon is fully applying to that sun. Like they're coming together and they're going to join. And so what they represent are connecting. And the moon happens to, basically the moon always rules the treasured thing, the thing you love and desire and your attachments, like how moon sign Cancer is the crab and just gets attached, and Cancers can be clingy. And we all have a part of us that is attaching and wanting things. Our ego mind is related to the moon. So the moon represents the desired, the precious thing. And it's joining the Lagna Lord. It's in Ittasala, it's in applying, so I'm going to be able to find the thing. I'm going to be able to find the wallet. So that's, even though it was in the 8th house though. The 8th house might have indicated my stress at the time, and certain of my situations, who knows. But that right there told me, oh wow, okay, that's really good. And then notice that the moon rules the 12th house, Cancer, so the 12th Lord is in the 2nd. And so the 12th, the Lord of loss, the 12th house has to do with loss. The 2nd house has to do with acquisitions and food you eat and things you're taking in. So the lost Lord is in the acquiring place, so you're going to acquire the thing you lost. You see what I'm saying? So that's another really good indication, was seeing the 12th Lord in the 2nd. That alone is nice. But because that 12th Lord is the moon, and because that moon is the one applying, and because the moon is the natural planet of what you're looking for, your lost thing in a prajna, bam, I get the thing. I'm going to find it. So that right there, right away, it tells me I'm going to find the thing, and I have the merit to find this lost object. And so then I'm like, where is it? And at the time I wasn't using house cusps, but now I found that using the Campania's house cusps with progeny does work quite well. But either way, it works out. So I was using the 4th sign, Scorpio. The 4th house and the 4th sign is always the treasured thing that you've lost. One of the most important things I could convey. 4th Lord is in the 9th. Okay, 9th house, fortune. That's another indicator I'm going to find it. It's with Venus. So I immediately thought, oh, I must have left it in my bedroom. And so I checked my bedroom, and sometimes it's fallen over or covered up by a piece of clothing or something. Couldn't find it anywhere though. So I was like, man, I really thought I had it. What else does Venus rule? And I was like, oh, my vehicle. It might still be in my car somehow because Venus rules vehicles. So I went and looked in my car, and right when I opened it from the outside looking in, it was just wedged in between these black metal things and the dark color of the seat, and it's a dark brown leather wallet. So I found it. It was there, and it was one of those weird things. It was like, how could I have overlooked that? You know what I mean? But I could only see it from coming into the car at this certain angle. And I saw it and I found it, and then it was there. So that was a really good experience for me. Not the stress, but the fact that I was able to learn something from it. And it's also funny that it was like wedged in between a dark thing, because it was with, Venus is with K2, which darkens things, and Mars can have a little bit to do with darkening things as well. So, but what's interesting is like the cusp and the sign both relate, because the house happens to be the color brown. Scorpio is what we relate to the color brown, and my wallet was a brown wallet. I mean, it's common to have a brown wallet, but that was kind of like, And then that Lord is with K2, within the same degree of K2, which darkens things. So it's dark wallet hidden by dark black metal, wedged underneath a dark seat. In a vehicle, which is Venus. So K2, Mars, and Venus there. But you're not really even supposed to count Rahu or K2 in the Tajika Prajna, but I do think they can give you a little bit of an extra clue, but don't add a lot because of those. And then you also notice, though, that Rahu is in the 3rd house, and I had to make another short distance journey to go back to the post office to send off this mail order. So that made a lot of sense as well, that Rahu was in the 3rd, even though we leave that alone in traditional Tajika Prajna. The 4th cusp Lord would have been Venus. So if I was using 4th cusp, it was kind of the same thing. Oh, Venus. Okay, then it's connecting to the bedroom or connecting to a vehicle. And because Venus rules both of those things. And also, yeah, there's one other neat thing that I was having to go to the post office. So it's funny how Mercury was in the 7th house, because Mercury is the planet that rules mailman or post office or messengers. Mercury was the messenger of the gods in Greek mythology. So Mercury deals with like UPS men or post office people, FedEx people, people who are conveying messages and packages and things. So Mercury in the 7th house of commerce and business and trade. That was just kind of a funny little neat additional thing too. And then I wonder if it's because the moon was in an earth sign that I found it at like ground level in the thing, because earth signs relate to ground level in a prajna. But yeah, this is just an example I thought would be useful of how I was able to, use astrology to find where my wallet would be. And of course I didn't follow the exact Tajika step-by-step methods from Tajika or Prajna Tantra of Nilakantha, but I used my intuition as well, and it worked out pretty well. I got my wallet back at least, and I got to send off the mail order. I think that's about everything on here. Also, the 4th cusp has some good benefic aspects to it, so that also kind of indicates that you're going to find it. If like something like if Venus is aspecting its own house, that helps. That's also a good indication. So there are just some other good things there too. Any questions about this example, please let me know. I hope you could read it on the screen there, and I hope this works well. I'll use my software for other things, but this just makes it easier to give the examples. Thanks, y'all.